Greetings, Earthlings! As you can see, I'm on top of a mountain. You can kind of tell, I'm not sure. So I'm obviously, very obviously back in New Hampshire, because where else would I be just casually climbing a mountain as part of my weekly activities? I want to talk to you guys about a couple of things this week, more serious subjects like I promised. So for those of you who know that last Wednesday was Yom Kippur, and I keep Yom Kippur not in the sense where I think that I have to keep it because I know that my sins have been forgiven, because I believe in Jesus. However, I do keep it as a sort of a memorial to remind myself that I need to look back on the year and what sort of like things I might have done since last Yom Kippur that have been wrong to other people, or just generally wrong things that I need to correct. So basically that's how I treat it, is just sort of like almost like making New Year's resolutions, but really serious character correcting New Year's resolutions. So this year, I realized that the level of anxiety that I have and about the level of things that I have it about. Okay, that didn't make sense. But basically, my anxiety is basically a sin of worry, like a deep-seated sin of worry. I mean, I know I have physical anxiety that'll crop up in attacks that I can't necessarily control, but a lot of it is me just worrying and being just a hypochondriac and anxious about everything and things that don't even make sense that I should be trusting God with. I don't. I know I've already talked about that in a video, but the point now is the application that I have decided that this year I am going to kick my anxiety about the things that I shouldn't have it about. Doesn't mean I'm going to go like dance on snake nests or anything, because that's a good fear, but just do things that I've been scared of doing, or things that I don't trust myself to do because I'm in God's hands and I know that it's not up to me to keep myself alive with these strange little worries. So I climbed this mountain today because I didn't think that I really could do it, because I still kind of have that cold hanging on, and because ever since, I've had a lot of problems this year with low blood pressure and stuff, and I was really didn't think I could make it up here, but I made it up here. So that one's down, and look for possible new video updates, or definite new video updates of me going out and conquering things that I have been afraid of, just because I vlog, so why not? The other thing that I want to talk about is something else that has been really bothering me. Not necessarily about what I do, but kind of about what everybody does. Like me, sometimes I do this too. I'm not going to say that I'm squeaky clean for doing this, but just everybody in the world practically acts like this all the time, and it drives me crazy. And so my lead into that topic is a quote that my friend didn't kind of resurfaced for me. I didn't, which was, ask not what God can do for you, ask what you can do for God. So obviously God has created us and put us here. And if you believe that, and even some people who claim not to believe that, like strike out against God and say that he's unfair and stuff, which is annoying, but they do, for different things. And especially a lot of Christians will be just like, they have this attitude that God owes them. Like, they're just like, I was a good person. Why did God let my parents die? Or why did I get cancer or something? And we act like God owes us stuff. He owes us a good life because he put us here. He doesn't owe us our opinion of a good life because he put us here. I mean, he doesn't owe you a fancy car. He doesn't owe you perfect health. He doesn't. And when you have those things, 95 times out of 100, you overlook the blessing that they are anyway. Like, somebody could have perfect health and could just be whining away about something else, saying like, life is not fair, and why doesn't God give me blah, blah, blah? He's supposed to bless me. I'm supposed to be living the blessed life. Like, the blessing that God gives you is the inner peace and comfort that comes from spiritually. That is something that God does give you. But if you have, like, just name any condition that you could just be stuck with, including like a life situation, not just like a physical condition. You could be poor or something like that, and you could be like, why does God not care about me? Why does he let everybody else have stuff that I don't have, or money that I don't have, or opportunities that I don't have? Okay, the thing is that God does not intend for rotten things to happen to you. A lot of rotten things that happen to you are because of the fall and the free will of man, which he gave us because that's basically the premise of the entire world working correctly. Because it wouldn't work anything like this if we didn't have free will, and what would be the point of anything? So, suffice to say that a lot of your problems are not God's fault. Does he let them stay? Yes. We need to get to a point where our minds are not of this world. And that doesn't just mean you don't go out drinking every Sunday instead of going to church. That means that you don't think about things in terms of the world's standard of things. Like, so what if you're sick? Like, so what if I have low blood pressure and I have a hard time doing certain things? You know, it's not God's fault. It's not God punishing me, and I just have to live the life I have and choose to have joy in it, because that's the true blessing. The true blessing comes from your, like I said, your inner peace, your inner joy. Those are things that you really can't lose. If you waste time feeling sorry for yourself or thinking that God owes you, then you're hurting yourself more, because you're not healing yourself from the inside with having joy. Maybe the disease outside will never go. I mean, I'm not promising you that it will if you have a better attitude, but you'll feel better about your life if you have a better attitude. That's the whole purpose, the whole definition of having a better attitude. So, you know, instead, go out and look to do things for God. Go out and look to do things for other people, because we can use that free will to our advantage, to everyone else's advantage. If people can use their free will to do horrible things to you and start wars and cause countries to fall into famine because they're too greedy to not corner the food market, you know, you can use it for the opposite of that. Go out and feed the hungry. Go out and, I mean, you can't stop wars, but you can stop conflicts. You can choose to forgive people that you know. You can choose to help people that you know. You can choose to help people that you know that have treated you horribly. You know, you can use your free will for good and go out and do something for God instead of sitting there and complaining that God hasn't blessed you enough. Anyway, that's not about any person in particular or anything like that. And I know that there's a lot of different situations. I'm only talking on a real short video here, but that has just struck me, just the way people in general are acting. Not just Christians. There are people who aren't Christians who are just like, why would a good God let people go to hell? Why would a good God let me get sick? There can't be a God because my life is like blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? Again, free will, fallen earth. People do get sick. People die. We all die. And if people go to hell, it's not because God wanted to send them there. It's because they didn't want to be with him. You don't want to be with God, you go to hell. He's giving you what you're asking for, not being a mean, horrible God. So, yeah, I mean, I know that, you know, if non-Christians watch that, or even Christians will probably just be like, well, you're wrong, but you know what, I don't care. So, that's your annoying little speech for the week. Enjoy this mountain view. Have a good week. Bye, Earthlings.